You wake up in the middle of the night. Quickly and quietly, you sneak downstairs into your kitchen and turn on your tap for a glass of cold, refreshing water, a simple act. You probably haven't stopped to wonder where that water comes from. Or, more crucially, what would happen if it were to become undrinkable? What seems like an apocalyptic scenario is the reality for countless communities worldwide. Our planet isn't running out of water, but it is running out of drinkable water. According to the USGS.gov, nearly half of the water in the United States is contaminated with PFAS, or polyfluoroalkyl substances, a group of man-made chemicals that have been present in a wide range of industrial and consumer products since the 1940s. These chemicals typically enter our groundwater through industrial waste discharge and eventually make their way into our lakes and rivers. These persistent substances are often referred to as forever chemicals because they never fully break down. Instead, they can wind up in your bloodstream and lead to serious health repercussions like hormone imbalances, reproductive issues, and even cancer. Here's the tricky part. PFAS are virtually everywhere, in water, soil, and even the air. This means that almost everyone is exposed. Scientists have identified 1,500 different types of these chemicals, but in New York State, drinking water standards only regulate 2. This leaves 1,498 chemicals unregulated. The same pattern holds across the United States, where standards surrounding PFAS in our drinking water are minimal, at best. Unfortunately, this lack of oversight has led to a drastic decline in public health, particularly for communities already facing environmental challenges. 2 summers ago, I interned at the Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory of Columbia University through the Next Generation of Hudson River Educators program, where I, along with other high school students, led water chemical testing and engaged our surrounding community in discussion about the Hudson. During my internship, I also learned of instances of environmental injustice. One that stood out to me in particular was the Flint, Michigan water crisis. In 2014, Flint, Michigan switched its drinking water supply from Detroit's system to the Flint River in order to save money. The problem with this? Water from the Flint was contaminated with lead and other toxins such as PCBs. Additionally, the switch from the Detroit system to the Flint also caused the pipes to become corrosive, further leaking lead into the water. People were outraged. Water looked, smelled, and tasted awful, yet state officials claimed that it was safe to drink. Flint residents pushed the EPA to step in, but the agency failed to act. Eventually, the city secured a settlement requiring lead pipe replacements and improved water testing. Despite these efforts, many individuals, especially young children exposed to high lead levels, still face lasting health repercussions, including brain damage. Flint serves as a harsh reminder of how governmental neglect of environmental issues can devastate communities. What I previously considered to be an isolated event was far more prevalent across the nation, even in my area. Individuals across Rockland County and the greater Hudson Valley area are subject to contamination from endocrine-disrupting chemicals. Although we may be privileged to ignore the scope and totality of the water chemical crisis, individuals across the globe are affected and face the repercussions of systemic neglect every day. Water scarcity is rapidly becoming one of the world's most pressing global challenges, with dire social, economic, and political consequences. Predictions from the United Nations and the World Bank indicate that by 2030, approximately 40% of the world's population will be affected by water scarcity, and up to 700 million people are at risk of displacement due to drought. Meanwhile, global water consumption has doubled over the past century as a natural result of population growth. Increased supply, coupled with limited water resources, is already driving conflict. In Darfur, during the early 2000s, competition between pastoralists and farmers over dwindling water resources fueled violence. This trend is reflected nationwide. The Pacific Institute reports that water-related violence has more than doubled in the last decade. As water scarcity intensifies, this issue is poised to become a catalyst for widespread instability and violence in the coming decades. So, what can we do? These challenges may feel overwhelming, but technology offers us hope. From solar-powered water filtration to desalination, technological innovation is on our side. These solutions aren't just theoretical. They're already in practice and making a difference. Take California, for example. The Carlsbad plant in San Diego, California, uses seawater to produce fresh drinking water for the San Diego region. Water desalination plants like this exist across the nation and across the country, which make clean water more accessible for more people. Addressing the water chemical crisis requires a lot more than understanding chemistry. Governments, industries, and individuals must come together to implement these technologies where they're needed most. Admittedly, the average person sitting in this room today holds little power from the outside, but when we come together to enforce legislation by pressuring those in power, we can really make a difference. Some of the smaller things that you can do include, in your local community, include reaching out to local politicians to enforce environmental protective legislation and paying attention to the kinds of products you're using. Reduce your plastic consumption. Look at the ingredients on the back of your shampoo bottle and shop locally instead of ordering something online. If we act now, we can ensure that the simple act of filling a glass with clean water remains a reality for everyone. The future of our global society depends on it. Thank you.